Welcome. We're going to have some fun tonight. We started doing these updates when I got the cancer diagnosis last year. And thankfully, after months of chemo and treatment, I am through all of that. And I believe it has gone back to the nothing from which it came. And so I'm ready to go on with life. And so we're in a new year. But everybody seemed to really like getting together and having these chats and doing some fun things. So we're going to keep that part going. And so tonight, we have, we'll do some updates. We will do some, I have a game I would like to play with you all that I think is going to be fun. It's a vintage game. I also will have a missing persons report. We'll tell you more about that in a minute. And then we will have a sale as well. And we have 10 lots that will start at $10 a piece. So we'll have some fun this evening. It's great to see all of you. And how's it going out there? Is everybody warm enough? It's funny because down in South Florida, where I will be doing a show weekend after this, it is 85 degrees and they're having near record temperatures. And in Kentucky, where I am, we have 5 inches of snow on the ground and we're looking at single digits overnight. So are we playing jarts? Well, it's a little crowded in here, but if you can catch, I can throw. I know that's not how it was supposed to be done in the first place. 9 degrees and lots of snow in Michigan. 18 inches of snow. Yes, Europe and New York. I hear the Northeast has really gotten it. Freezing, but made it through the snow. That's great. That's us too. I've got lots of things to do this week before I go to my shows, and so I needed a week indoors, and this certainly is encouraging that. Snowed in Tulsa, 15-inch record snow in Grayville, Illinois. So yes, a lot of us dealing with snow. I guess you folks on the West Coast, it's on the dry side, so congratulations. Hello from Denver. Nice to see you too. So let's see. I guess we'll start with updates. As far as health stuff, like I said, that is behind me, and I want to believe it will continue to be. I will be getting checkups every 3 months or so out in Washington State, and that will allow me to make sure everything is fine. It also is timing around when I have shows and events out there, so that's really great. I am planning on resuming most of my regular activities this year. I have been cleared by the doctors to do the West Palm Beach Antique Show on the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Ah, that's the alarm reminding me we're supposed to do this. I will have on the 4th, 5th, and 6th the West Palm Beach Antique Show at the Fairplex on Highway 98. It is the big extravaganza. There will be somewhere in the vicinity of 800 to 1,000 dealers. It's huge. I know Nurse Flipper is planning on coming down to shop with some other YouTubers, so I think we'll have fun there. And I have been accumulating stuff all year to take to the show, so I'll have a bunch. A little of it I'll be able to preview for you all before in the form of a video, and a lot of it, well, it's just going to come out and be a surprise because it's been packed for a long time and I'm not unpacking it this week. So, do I drive from coast to coast every 3 months? Well, I have been. That started during the pandemic because flying was not easy or fun. And now I try to time it around when I have shows and other things to do. So yes, I am still doing a lot of driving this time. And, sometimes I set it up where I fly and am able to just deal with things. But in the foreseeable future, there's going to be a lot of driving involved. I never thought Anchorage would be warmer than Cincinnati, -1 here. Yes, it's crazy, isn't it? So we've got West Palm Beach. Then the following weekend, and I'll hit here. I'm so proud of myself. I figured out how to put overlays in here so I can show you this because I will be appearing on the 15th, Saturday, in Titusville, Florida at Dusty Rose Antique Mall. This is sort of a full circle thing. I was scheduled to go there and do this last year, and I got sick and was unable to do it. And so this is my makeup date, and I'm very excited to go. It will be Valentine's Day, the 14th, from 1 to 5 p.m. And you are welcome to come if you're in the area and bring items, and we will have a lot of fun. I always have people set it up so that everybody can sit and watch and hang out and see what other people bring as well. So that should be a good time. It'll be the first time we've done an appraisal fair in about a year. I will also be the next day, the 15th, I will have a bid call sale in conjunction with Heidi of Rosie's Auction House. I've had a couple of questions about that. So what a bid call sale is she does a catalog about a week or 10 days in advance of the sale. So if the sale's on the 14th, the catalog will come out sometime around the 4th, and she publicizes a Facebook link so that you can go preview the catalog. And where the picture is, you can leave a bid. So that way, if you're not able to attend the live auction, you can leave your bid in advance. Sometimes people do win on the pre-bid. Then when we have the sale moves at a very rapid clip because we already have pre-bids. So it starts from there, and we run through about 80 items in a couple of hours. And I have submitted my items for that sale. So we'll be doing that on the 15th. I think that one's in the evening, but we'll give you more information as it comes. Um, and thank you. I really enjoy doing the appraisal fairs too, and we will film some. We haven't had any appraisal videos for a while, but we will. It's always interesting to see what people bring, and I always have to kind of think on the fly. I mean, I don't know everything, and I sometimes just have to figure it out when I see it, and that is always an interesting trick that we usually manage. Let's see. We also then the following week, we will have the Mount Dora Antique Show, the other big extravaganza in Florida, and that is the weekend of the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, north of Mount Dora, or I mean, north of Orlando in Mount Dora, Florida. It is giant. There should be around 1,000 dealers at that show as well. And both those shows have some really crazy, cool high-end stuff and stuff that you can buy for resale. So it's a lot of fun for a lot of people. And then the weekend after that, on the 28th, I will be doing an appraisal fair in Catalula, Georgia. Catawba, Georgia. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. Catawba at Timeless Treasures Antique Mall. And that will be, I believe, from 11 to 3 p.m. So lots of stuff going on in February. It'll be the first full month of events that I've had in over a year. And I'm really looking forward to getting back out there and meeting a lot of you in person. And yes, it really does feel good. It feels good to even be talking about getting back into these things, let alone being able to actually do them. So I'm very happy. I know you'll all understand this. When the pandemic hit and we all had to be at home and shut down for a while, and then suddenly we were able to start getting out again and doing some of the things we were used to doing. Remember that feeling? Remember that sort of feeling of elation over just very basic things that we were used to doing that felt like they'd been taken away from us? That is the feeling I am experiencing again with this. So I know you can all relate. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Also, for you level 3 members, we will have our member chat on Wednesday. So look forward to that. It's a little later than we usually do. We usually have it the third Wednesday of the month, but it will be the fourth Wednesday, which is this Wednesday. Is my energy staying up with the extra work I'm doing? I'm really working on that, Scott. I have been doing Tai Chi on a regular basis, and that's really been helping a lot because it really helps with range of motion and stretching and being more limber. And I'm finding that's really helpful. My endurance is pretty good. It's not completely 100%, but I'm giving myself a little grace. When I do these shows, I'm going to unpack and put up everything I feel up to doing. And if I run out of gas, well, that's what the show will be, and then we'll just have more merchandise for the next weekend. So, but I'm doing pretty well all in all. I feel good, and at least in my head, I feel like my old stuff. Occasionally, my body says, "Yeah, but not quite so fast, there, big fella." So we'll take it as it comes. And thank you very much. I'm really tickled too, honestly. The let's see, got a little bit lost here. Oh yes, there we go. One thing that it's not too early to think about now, I'm just going to mention it really quickly. It's all the way out on Mother's Day weekend, but Teak Stock is going to be in Marshall, Michigan this year, and it is a really fun event. And I am going to try to help with the marketing this year because we get a good turnout from our regulars and our glass people, but we're going to try to get more of the general public to come to that show this year. So if you're in the upper Midwest, that is a fun event, and we hang out for a few days. We have auctions, we have appraisal fairs. I mention it because dealer space is free, and if you are interested, this is a good time to think about scheduling for that. There is another show that weekend also, which I wish I could do. Unfortunately, I can't be in both places, but Jocelyn at Crazy Lamp Lady is having an antique show in Carlisle, Pennsylvania at a big fairground, and they've rented a huge tent that can hold something like 100 dealers. I think they've got about 80 spaces rented. So if you are in that part of the country, contact her about a dealer space if you're interested in selling, and do attend the show because it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. I'm hoping it's a big success so that there'll be more that I can attend and be part of later. Will I be posting my schedule? Yes, it's funny. I'm saying all of this out loud like you're all supposed to magically remember this, and I barely can myself. So I will post a schedule soon. I'll try to put it in the feed, and so all of you will see it. I think most of you are subscribed to the main channel as well, and that will be where that's posted. And by the way, thank you all for participating here on the live channel. We have almost 10,000 subs and over 30 members, which is wonderful, and thank you for that. Let's see here. I want to see if I'm missing anything. Real quickly here, because the chat's moving kind of fast and I've been talking. If you have any questions right now for me, please go ahead and put them in the chat. You can always put them in all caps. I might be more likely to see them, but I'm going to look here again. I will be in Spokane again. The Spokane show is going to be this fall. The Portland show will be in July, the 24th weekend, and Spokane is usually the end of September or the 1st of October, and I will be there for both of those. So looking forward to that. Yes, I'm sorry to miss the Carlisle show too. I think it'll be really fun, and if I was on the Eastern Seaboard, I would definitely be doing that. But I'm in the Midwest, and Teak Stock is also a lot of fun. It's a very convivial atmosphere with a bunch of really great people, and we hang out and just have a wonderful weekend. So let's see here. And I'll try to remember to put out requests for any questions again too as we go on here. You want to catch and repost questions? Yes, thank you. If there are any that you see, that would be wonderful. I really would appreciate that because I don't want to miss anybody who needs to know something. Speaking of need to know, there are a couple of little mysteries that have come my way, and I wanted to talk about them really quickly. It is definitely a shot in the dark on these things, but I came up with a couple of things. This business card fell out of a piece of furniture that I was moving, and it's Marquis Ellis, voice expert in the Majestic Theater building. And I thought that that was really interesting because I thought, okay, he's a voice expert, and this is Los Angeles, and this business card looks like it has some age. The piece of furniture was from the 1920s. So now I'm trying to find information on Marquis Ellis, and I did find a little bit. He recorded a few albums. He was a voice trainer. He did work at the Majestic Theater building, which is long since torn down in downtown Los Angeles. I suspect he was trained operatically, and he did record some stuff, but I haven't been able to find anything more about him, who his clients were, if any of his recordings still exist. I know some sheet music exists that he wrote. So if anybody happens to find anything about Marquis Ellis, I would definitely be interested in knowing. And yes, you can tell Broadway 3926, that is an old phone number. He was definitely active in the 19 teens and 20s, and I understand he worked with some vaudevillians. So somebody out there knows something about this guy, and I just figured that his business card fell into my lap for some strange reason, and now I'm curious about him. And yes, definitely, I like the old phone number too. When I moved to Seattle, mine was Mutual 8. And of course, for those folks who are, well, none of us are probably old enough to remember when they did that, but that was a holdover from the days. It took a long time for the phone company, little towns, you might only have a few dozen or a few hundred exchanges. But in the big cities, they started to have five numbers and then six numbers and then seven numbers in a telephone, and they were afraid people couldn't remember. So if you ever remember the old rotary phones, they had the letters on each number, and they would spell out some words so you could remember to add the first two letters to your 5-digit phone number. I always thought that was cool. Here we go. Atwater 3334, Garden 5. See, a bunch of you do remember this. Yeah, that's great. And yes, on I Love Lucy, they did that. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Miss Wildlife. That's great. I saw Rob say he would like to meet us in Spokane. I hope that works out. So the 10th and 11th of October for the Spokane show. That is great. Um, so anyhow, there is that one. That is one of our missing persons, and I've got one more, and this one's a little bit more of a sad story, but a poignant story. And this fellow, this is another thing that got held up when I wasn't well. I've had this for over a year because this fellow came to Mount Dora and he gave me this. His name is Alan F. Brewer Jr. His father was Alan F. Brewer, and Equalith was his studio, and he did a lot of prints related to the horse industry. He was involved with that very seriously. And this is one of his prints from the 1960s. Well, Alan F. Brewer Sr. unfortunately was killed in an automobile accident, and his son, Alan F. Brewer Jr., brought this to me because he was only a few years old and he never really got to know his father. And so he is looking for anything from the Equalith Equine Gallery. So if any of you out there happen to see anything from Equalith Equine Gallery, we would love to find more information out. I would love to find anything I could to help this gentleman get a little bit closer vicariously to his father, who he never got to meet. And I just thought it was such a wonderful story that I would share that with you. And oh shoot, I'm so sorry that you're having trouble with your thumb, but it's great to see you. Naomi sent me a wonderful little care package which went to Seattle, so I haven't seen it yet. But I did see a couple of other, I did get packages from a few other folks, and I want to do a little show and tell with you with that right now because some fun things came, and I want to thank everybody, but also it's fun to share with you the kind of stuff that comes because everybody has such an interesting take on vintage. First of all, I should show this shirt. This came from Connie Jean. I don't see Connie Jean in the chat tonight, but it's a wonderful pineapple shirt and long sleeves, which we need tonight. So this will be fun. Sometimes when I'm in Florida at shows, I need long sleeves because, it might be a bad day in Florida means it's in the 60s. So, sometimes we need this. Let's see. I wanted to first show this really quickly with Florida in mind. I got a bunch of Florida stuff that people have been holding to me. The first was this from Kelly Dams, and she sent this with a lovely note and said, I know you said Pluto is your favorite Disney character, and he really is. And she sent this. This is a homemade piece from the 1970s, and Pluto is in a dark brown color here. And I just think he's so fun. And why do I like Pluto? Well, I thought Pluto was really clever because when Walt Disney created him around 1931, his notion was to create a character who would not speak and who would actually be Mickey Mouse's pet. And the idea was that Pluto would express everything through his eyes and through his motions, and that would be the way that he would communicate. And I always thought that was really fascinating because not very many animators, especially considering Disney was the first one with a talking cartoon, would have thought to not use sound in that period of time to create a different kind of character. So I always thought that was very clever. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you very much. That is just great. Where was the gallery? That's a good question. This fellow is from Florida. I don't know whether the Equalith Gallery was in Florida or if it was in another location, to be honest with you. So that is a good question. Maybe we'll figure that out. Um, Pamela Blanchard is here. It's so nice to see you. And I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I just want you to know because everyone was very generous with me. Um, Pamela is going through a little bit of medical stuff right now, and a GoFundMe has been established for her. So I found out and made a contribution, and I just wanted to pass that along because people were very generous to me when I was in need. And it's great that people have arranged this for her. And it's wonderful to see you again, by the way. So great to see all of you here. The gallery has a Facebook page. Yes, that's right. I believe the Sun did create a Facebook page. That's good information. So if you find anything, you can communicate directly that way. There you go. All over, there's even a Facebook group. See, it's been a year since he gave me this, so I imagine that there is starting to be more information building. So this is great. I really appreciate you telling me these things. And let's see, since we're on the subject of Connie Jeans, she sent a very nice note and a bunch of really fun Floridiana, and I'm just going to show you some of the highlights. Some of this will be going with me. She saved this up, I think, for an entire year because she's up in Michigan where people go to Disney World and then bring things back. Here is the official bag. And this is from right when Disney World opened in 1971. I went there as an 8-year-old 2 years later, and it was brand spanking new, and they sold these trays at that time. And I just love it because you saw a lot of Florida souvenirs up until then, and up until Disneyland was there, Orlando was really just a little orange packing town. It is hard to believe how huge it is now. And around that time, Renegers started the antique shows. Let's see, some other Floridiana that came. I probably won't get to show you everything, but nice piece of treasure craft in the lava glaze. I know that Rob Norwood is a treasure craft collector, and we have some other folks who are. There's folks in Denver who collect, and they have a wonderful collection. What's really cool is they have a bunch of Blanco, and they've matched the Blanco and the treasure craft glazes together, and they look really great that way. So that was a fun piece from Fort Lauderdale. Uh, let's see here. And this, of course, is perfect for Florida because it is a John Perry figure. And I believe that this one is probably earlier because notice the label. The label is actually not with his face, and it has a 1970s date. So this is early in the John Perry production. And yes, it's true. You really don't see the Treasure Craft souvenir plates. You used to see them all over the place. And I noticed Janet said that she liked the ashtray. I will be sometime probably in the fall having a special where we talk about treasure craft. I'm meeting the son of the founder again at the factory in a couple of months, and I have never actually done a presentation online, but there's more information that has come out in the 20 years since I wrote the book about treasure craft pottery and pottery craft stoneware. So I'm looking forward to that. And it does have a Robert Maxwell feel because Robert Maxwell was involved with them for a little while. And that is a rather sour story that will be interesting to share with you. And there's more information about that these days, too. So we'll get to that. Seems like the gallery was in Lexington. Now that makes perfect sense because Lexington is horse country. You're not far from the Kentucky Derby. There's a lot of big stables there. That is all adding up. So, wow, you guys are great sleuths. Okay, let's see here. And yes, there will be some tea at the Treasure Craft party. Yes, that is correct. Let's see what else real quickly. Another Pluto piece that I just love is this guy. These are from the 70s. A lot of us grew up with these mugs in our houses, and I think we'll keep that one to drink out of. This is a fun Florida piece because it is one that tips open. And Yes, I will be meeting him at the factory in Compton. The Hawaiian factory was sold and is now a surfboard factory, but the factory in Compton still is owned by the people who started Treasure Craft, and the grandson is actually running a specialty ceramic lighting company in the facility, and there are some of the original Treasure Craft workers still working for him. Um, let's see here. Okay. Oh yes, here we go. Yes, Sheldon was okay with Pluto, but scared of Goofy. Yeah, Goofy was a weird character. Disney came up with him in the 50s because people said, well, Pluto's cute, but we want a dog that talks, and that is what Goofy was supposed to be. And he decided to make him sort of derpy, like some dogs are. And you're starting a little Florida collection. Yes, I have a nice collection myself, and yes, the Pluto mug will be part of it. Dippity dog, yes. One more real quickly. Well, two more actually. This one I wanted to show because Connie Jean asked me about this piece to tell her some information. This is a wall pocket from Japan, and this is 1930s because it has the made in, or I'm sorry, it's 1940s because it has the occupied made in Japan mark. So in the 30s, this would have just said made in Japan with the company logo. But when the war was over, there were some factories that were not bombed out that had some items and they wanted to sell them. And we were occupying Japan at the time. And we insisted between 1947 and 52 that they put the word occupied on there because we were afraid that American customers would reject Japanese products because of animosity over the war. And we needed Japanese products to sell in order to rebuild their industry so that we could rebuild the country. And so this piece was made between 1947 and 1952. Ah, Carlitos, very good. Thank you. So there is a lot about him. Okay, that's great. I will take a look because I didn't find a lot when I was doing the research, but that's been some months. And of course, we know between AI aggregating things and more people being interested in old things that we are starting to get a lot of scholarship on things, which I find really exciting. It's a lot of why I started this channel, and I love the fact that people are doing the deep dives and that people are really interested in the whys and the stories behind these things. And this is the last piece I'll show from the Connie Jean grouping. Beautiful Florida. This is great because this is original 1920s boom era Florida. Oops, upside down there. So of course it looks like oranges, and you have all these wonderful pictures. Well, that one's a little bit questionable, of course, but lots of pictures of palms and sunsets and very bucolic, tranquil places. Florida was very, very small in the 1920s. Only about 1 million people lived in Florida. And so it was exotic and new. Okay, real quickly, one other person, Joan Trainer, who may be here, she was in the chat tonight on the regular video, sent a wonderful box with some really cool things, including this. These are not marked, but I believe they're by Syracuse, China, because they are the airbrush similar to their oak leaf dinnerware in the 1960s. It has a great caddy. It's a set of ashtrays. I know we have an ashtray collector in the audience here, and I thought those were really, really neat. And real quickly, I'm going to jump here. Have I seen how the prices for those crazy geese have jumped? Yes. I know I've been telling you all, and I know you're like, no, no, no blue geese, but there's a whole generation of people who grew up with them and their grandparents had them and they have nostalgia. So they will come back whether we like it or not. Everything does. Um, yes, the geese with the blue ribbon. That is correct. Yesterday, Google Ace. This is a funny thing about AI. Yes, we do have to we do have to be careful with AI. It's only about 80% accurate, and so funny that it said the wrong day. Um, that is funny. And yes, here we go. Here's where we are. One person's been sourcing the geese. Another person has the 80s geese? Question mark? Yes, indeed. I tossed mine away when I moved and am happy to have done it. I just sold a pair of geese tumblers in the last week, so Here we go. And I know how Beth Kemper feels about it. But it is true. Everything does come back around. Um, okay, real quickly, Joan did send a couple other pieces, and I'll show a few because they're very interesting. This one is another wall pocket, and this is by Compare. And that is how you pronounce this word here. It is a French word for this style of folk pottery, HB en roi. I'm sure I'm massacring the French. I really do a terrible job with French. But that is the company that made this. They made a lot of the Compare in the 20th century. It's a really nice glossy glaze, and it typically has these hand-painted folk pieces on it. This is a nice piece, and Compare is definitely collectible. And so stock up on the geese and noted. Yes. Well, yeah, if you see, I'll tell you my feeling about the geese. So here's the thing. The geese came out in the mid 80s. The geese were kitschy and cute, and we became really oversaturated. And as soon as the American companies, which Treasure Craft made a line, their Metlocks made a Blue Goose cookie jar, they were good quality. And then we started seeing knockoffs from other parts of the world, and they were pretty shoddy. And pretty soon they were dime a dozen. And pretty soon people were kind of tired of it. Well, now it's been 40 years. And so I'm looking again for those better quality pieces that were made by better companies and primarily by American companies, although a few of the offshore pieces are good too. But I really would emphasize quality when you're looking at something that's just starting to be collectible again, because a lot of things were schlocky. And ultimately, the collectors will want the better pieces. And yes, it was absolutely a thing. My mother was in Battle Creek, Michigan for a couple of years, and everybody in Michigan seemed to have them on their porch and would dress them up for the season. Not your thing, but it does sell, exactly. And real geese, yes, real geese are really mean. I've been chased by them. As a child, I was told, don't put your fingers near their beaks, and with good reason. Let's see. One other thing from Joan, she did send a few other things, and then we'll get on to another stuff. But I thought this was really interesting. This is the face of Edinburgh, Scotland. And my grandmother went there to do genealogy. We have one tiny droplet of Scots blood. But this is a neat book because it does have pictures and it shows Edinburgh in all of its glory. So I will have some fun reading that. Thank you to all of you who sent presents. It's always so fun to see what catches your eye, and it's like Christmas. Um, you taught your daughter to run at them, and they ended up more scared of her. Ah, well, there you go. That might be the way to do it. You had pink depression glass in your kitchen. Yes, now this is true because some of us had collector parents by that time. My parents always shopped out of the thrift stores, so blue geese were too new for us. um, Okay, I guess we have gotten into the second half hour. If there's any questions, again, I'll go ahead and take them now, and then we're going to start doing some sales because I have some fun things to show you, and I would definitely like to share them with you tonight. Pink Depression I liked, and you know what? Pink Depression finally seems like it's started. I've been saying for 5 years, pink's going to come back, pink's going to come back. It seems like finally it is starting to, very slowly, but it is starting to happen. Martha Stewart had a big thing saying that is a trend for her this year, particularly depression glass in pink and other colors. And hello, Crystal. Nice to see you too. A goose drowned a kayaker once. See, I'll tell you. Yeah. Don't mess with the blue-necked geese. How did it ever leave? It's pink. Well, that's my world too. I love pink. Um, and Joan says she's been selling. Yep, exactly. Your mom had it and still has it. That's great. A lot of big collections are out there. So, but yes, I agree. I do think that depression glass is starting to find its footing again, because even though there's big collections out there, a lot of those folks are still alive and well and holding on to those collections. So younger people are starting to realize, oh, I can't wait for a hand-me-down. If I want it, I want it now. All right. Um, well, let's go ahead and yes, Martha Stewart does start trends. She got people all excited about jadeite. I remember the weekend that I was working in our antique mall in Oregon, and on a Friday, people came in and said, "Oh, what do you have in jadeite? Martha Stewart's going to put out an article. I want to buy pieces before it all gets snapped up." And we sold a bunch. And on Monday, a bunch of new people came in with that article in hand and said, "Where's your jadeite? I want this." And we sold every piece we had left. So, yes, Martha Stewart is still a trendsetter even at this point in her life. Elegant glass, but I'm not sure. Yes, elegant glass, and we're going to sell a Fostoria book later, a reference book. Elegant glass means it's fire polished, it's a little better quality. Oftentimes it's etched as opposed to just a stamped pattern. Depression glass was stamped with an all over pattern usually because it was done fairly inexpensively, and sometimes there'd be bubbles and flaws, and the pattern would cover up the flaws. But the elegant glass, it was made very well and did not have flaws. And it was stuff that you bought if you had a little bit of money back then. And yes, she did do the same with McCoy. And yes, then she did sell her own jadeite line, which I will give her credit. She at least made sure it was marked clearly so that you wouldn't confuse it with old. And it's also a slightly different color tone than the older jadeite as well. But yes, that does happen. The green depression, absolutely popular, of course, because of the uranium glass collectors. Um, and yes, here you go. Okay, that's a good point. So one of the best things you can do for yourself if you're interested in depression glass is go out and get one of the last editions of the depression glass books by Gene Florence, because he would put, because the reproductions when depression glass was hot in the 90s started to come fast and furious, and he would put a compendium of new reproductions and how to tell the difference in the back of every book towards the end of his run. So Gene Florence depression glass books, they're not terribly expensive on the aftermarket because there were a lot of that reference book printed, and they are really helpful. I know you can look online, but a picture online looks like another picture online. For some reason, for me, holding the book in my hand and seeing it up close, I get the message better. There's just that magnification. Any Delphite love? Let's see. Yes, Delphite is great. Also, um, I collect milk glass, though it's not very popular. I think milk glass is going to make a comeback. And actually, we have two pieces for sale in the sale. So let's get on with the sale. Oh, no, 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 wait. I'm so sorry. I forgot we're going to play a game first. And yes, thank you very much. Hitting the thumbs up button does help us with YouTube, definitely. It lets people know that you're having fun and that other people should join us. And I'm so glad people are tonight. Okay, so we have a little game to play first. And this is a game everybody can play, and there's no prizes. You just score yourself at home. But it is a new twist on an old game, and it is dun dun da da. The Price is Right. Yes, indeed. This is the 1964 card deck for The Price is Right. And here's how we're going to play. And this is just for fun. But what we're going to do, I'm going to hold up a card. I'm going to show you the item, and I want you to put in the comments what you think the price in 1964 was, and then a slash, and what you think the same piece sells for on eBay today or somewhere online. So hopefully that makes sense. Come on down, everybody. Yes, that's right. I'll do my best, Johnny Olson. Um, so the and yes, you have to at home. You need to all be doing this and act really, really overly excited about the chance to win a box of hair curlers. Um, so okay, our first piece here. What do we have, Johnny Olson? Well, Bob, our first piece is this fabulous Smith Corona typewriter. It is portable, it is turquoise, and you just need to put in what you think, and I don't care if you go over, um, what you think the price was in 1964 on The Price is Right. And oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, Bob Barker is not here to be kissed, but Maybe they'll be, there you go. And what you think it would sell for today. Okay, this is great. You're getting the idea here. I'll give everybody a minute to do this. We've got about 8 or 10 of these, so we'll just have some fun. Oh, Heidi is here from Rosie's Auction House. Hello there. And Pete, Susan P. Lorraine Mitchell says she had that typewriter. Antique Agenda's here. Hello. Heather Hodges is here. Willie Joe has a bit in there. And we're going to let you folks, it's interesting. I know the answers, so and I'm gonna show you in an overlay here. In fact, I'll tell you what, I got to be able to hit that. So there we go. All right. Any other bids? The real price of the typewriter is ding, 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 $90. Yes, indeed, $90 in 1964. Now, of course, we know the Price is Right always put the manufacturer's suggested top retail price in, but it's interesting to think that this was $90 in 1964. And what is it today? Well, the Smith Corona Corsair typewriter today sells for $100. So a slight increase, and it is really interesting to me because I remember when we used typewriters as doorstops at the antique mall because nobody wanted them. And now they are hot as can be. And yeah, wow, pricey, huh? Yes, it is a surprise. We like to think that we live in a time of inflation and that everything is really expensive, but we forget how expensive things used to be. So what's our next prize, Johnny Olson? It's a bowling ball. The new Brunswick black bowling ball with the bag. A lot of people put these in their gardens as ornaments nowadays, but there was a time when bowling was super popular in the mid 60s. So tell me in the comments what you think this would have sold for in 1964 and what it would sell for today. We've got 4040. Oh, you bought a Smith Corona in 1988 for 125. That's great. Aw. And thank you very much for the super chat. That's wonderful. $4.99. That is very kind of you. Thank you. And $1, Bob. Yes. Okay. Well, I'll consider that my kiss. That was very sweet. All right. Let's see what else we have here. We've got some more guesses coming in. I'll give you all a moment. I know we all have different lag time. And then we will reveal the actual retail price is $50 in 1964. So a bunch of you got that right. At the end, I want you to tell me how many you got right in the comments. And then let's go to overlays and see what this would cost now. If you bought this online, the Brunswick Naugahyde bowling ball and case, $50. And someone took an offer. So that hasn't really changed too much. Let's see where we are here. Okay. Next up, we have, here's something we see a lot in antique and vintage malls now. The blue mid-60s suitcase set from Samsonite, Bob. It's got absolute 100% real vinyl in all sorts of great colors. And the blue is one that we do see a lot. I think blue was really popular with older people who had money to travel back then. Hey, John, good to see you here. Wonderful information. I'm going to put this up real quickly for you Depression Glass folks. 7 books by Gene Florence on Thrift Books, starting at $5.99. Thrift Books is a great place to find old collector references. Okay, so we've got some guesses coming in on the price of the luggage set in 1964, and then we'll show you the price today. It's interesting, the luggage is another thing. We used to hold estate sales that had this kind of luggage in it, and we could not sell it. Well, this vinyl, if it's not stored right, especially everybody put it in a hot attic, gets sticky and gross. And so now there aren't very many of these in good condition. So we're going to take a look here in a minute and see what the actual price today is. I'll give you all another moment to put something in the chat. I think my grandmother had the beige, as I recall. All right. And the actual retail price is $110. Samsonite had a factory in Denver. That's right. That's where all of this was made. And they made card tables too. So $110 in 1964. And now in 2026, the price of these is in the range of somebody made an offer, but they were asking $325. It is amazing to me how the colored luggage, certain types, are really going for high prices now. I never would have fathomed this when I was doing estate sales 20 years ago, and we were practically giving these away. I remember we would donate these with the clothes that didn't sell in them. Only off by 10. See, good guess. And yes, isn't it surprising? When I saw this game, I just thought, okay, this is fun because I was curious. What are these things selling for now? All right, next up, we have the Sears Kenmore portable sewing machine in a wonderful pink color. And of course, Sears was the biggest, most important department store in the country in 1964. And in 2026, it only exists in Mexico, where it is still a big, important department store. But there are none left in the United States that I know of. I just sold one of these in green recently. I'm not going to tell you what I got for it until I let you all have a guess here. So we're going to let you keep on guessing. It's so interesting to see different people's perception of these. Your mom had the beige one. Yes, the beige one was a little more common, and I think you had to pay extra for color back then. And so not very many people had the colored ones. You usually saw beige and white. But the crazy thing is that I rarely run into one of these that doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, it usually needs bushings, and you can take it to, there's almost still a sewing and vacuum repair in every town. And there's some old person who has been repairing these for years who can still fix them. All right, I'll give you one more second to get in those bids, and then we will tell you. The actual retail price is $120 in 1964. I mean, this stuff was expensive. You can get a sewing machine today for $120 new, but it's not going to last for 60 years like some of these have. And what are they selling for on eBay now? They are selling for $150. And I took $100 plus shipping for mine, which worked out to about $140. So right in the same ballpark. And yeah, wow. I kind of thought this would be fun because I figured it would give you an idea of why some of these collectibles are scarcer than we imagine, because they were not as cheap as we think things were. We have rose-colored glasses. We tend to look on the past and think everything was perfect and wonderful and cheap and easy. And well, it was just priorities were different. Now we spend lots of money on electronic gadgets and cryptocurrency for some reason. So, okay, next up, we have a Magnavox suitcase turntable with built-in speakers. And this was the cool one because you could go around and take your Four Seasons records to your friend's house, and you could have dance parties and do the frug and the swim and all of those crazy 60s dances. And you could take this with you and have your music anywhere you went. And this was about as convenient as it got. It's so funny to think that now, our telephone plays music probably better than this did back then. So tell us what you think the retail price then and now is on these suitcase Magnavox record sets. There were other companies that made that, but I'm pretty sure this one's a Magnavox. All right, we're looking for a couple more responses here. And you had one and got it for your birthday in 1972. Yes. Yeah, that was a good birthday present back in 1972 as well. I mean, that was something kind of special. All right, everybody. The actual retail price is $80. $80 new back then. That seems pretty reasonable because nowadays, to buy one of these is going to run you in the neighborhood of, where are we here? Now, this one says $60, but this one is just for parts. If it was in working order, I see these pricing usually in the $150 to $200 range. So if you said 60, you got it for parts. And if you said 150, score yourself a point because that is what they actually would sell for now. All right, we'll do a couple more of these here. I hope you're having fun with this silliness. I certainly am. Here is something that, did you tell us what you sold your sewing machine for? Yes, I sold mine for $100 plus $36 shipping. So 136 was the total price. All right. For our next contestant, we have a man's wristwatch. Yes, this is, and they would have called these back then a gentleman's wristwatch. This is a Timex 100. The Timex 100 and the Timex Mercury were the ones that did not have numbers. They just had these little bars, very mid-century modern. And this one, well, tell us what you think it would have been worth then and now. And I'll give you a little bit of a clue. Timex was considered a pretty cheap watch, a somewhat disposable watch at the time, but Timexes and other wristwatches are more collectible now than pocket watches. So there's a few hints for you. I see Goodson Vintage Treasures. If you're any relation to Mark Goodson and Bill Todman, I suppose I owe you royalties for using the Price is Right stuff on this game. And we're going to wait here for no idea 25, 25 and 75. Yes, I do look for wristwatches these days. I look for older ones than Timex usually. Was that the green and seafoam? Yes, that was the green seafoam sewing machine, which our friend Betty helped me mail. The customer was in Mexico City, and so I brought it across the border, and Betty helped me get it through customs, figure out the duties, and send it to her in Mexico City, which was a new experience for sure. Okay. And they do take a licking and keep on ticking. Yes, I remember that ad very well. My dad always had Timex because he wouldn't spend the money on an expensive watch because he was an engineer and he was always banging it against something. That's the travel set. Oh, I see. Yes, you're catching up with us. The travel set that your mom and I have. That's great. Yeah, the slogans really were great back in the day. I'm nerdy enough. I will sometimes go and watch old commercials. It sort of reminds me of Demolition Man, where all the people in the future, the music is all commercial jingles from the 1970s and 80s. All right, everybody. So the actual retail price of the Timex watch is $70. Yeah, watches were expensive because you had to have one. And think about what a cell phone costs adjusted for inflation. Your cell phone that does all those other things probably costs about what $70 in 1964 would have been. And what does it sell for now? Well, if we go on eBay, we will find that these sell nowadays for, this one sold in Great Britain, but it's the same model. It went for $30 plus shipping. Shipping would be expensive, so probably around $45 to $50, and that is typical for a decent running Timex wristwatch in good condition with a clear crystal and no cracks and scratches these days. All right, we'll do a couple more here and then we'll get on to our sale. But there's a couple more that are fun here. Next up, our penultimate is the Redmond picnic basket. And I have had these picnic baskets several times over my career. I find them with and without the inserts, they are more valuable with. And this is something that you would have gotten in 1964 brand new. You could get them with colors and patterns. This is the very basic plain one, but it does have genuine Melmac trays and cups and mugs and bowls, and also a little bit of cutlery. So curious to see what you think of this. This one surprised me in both directions. And look at those great colors. These are supposed to have a little wooden tray in the bottom that lifts everything up as well, so you could store linens or napkins or things underneath. And also, so if you were picnicking, you'd have something off the ground so the ants wouldn't immediately crawl into your food. Yogi Bear liked his picnic basket. That is true, Christian. Absolutely. Ah, this is a great quote, yeah, or a great comment here. Yes, it cost an unknown amount of green stamps. Yes, it's funny. Two of the pieces that I'm selling in the sale tonight are things that were available in the S&H green stamp store when I was a kid that I tried to get my mother to buy, and she wanted a bathroom scale, and that's what we got instead. And I like what I wanted to buy better, and now I have it, and I'm going to share it with you tonight. Okay, the actual retail price is $10. Yes, $10. Picnic basket. It wasn't a big deal back then. And Melmac was cheap, and picnic baskets were something every family had, so they made a lot of them. What do these sell for now? I was surprised by this because I have been selling them for less over the years. And so I learned a little something with this. And what I learned was that they are selling for some money now, $55 for this with all of the original pieces. And this one is the same exact piece, but made a few years later because the colors are 1970s instead of mid 60s. So yeah, kind of surprising to me. I would not have thought that you could get $55 for these. And some of the pattern ones in colors are selling for even more. And then, of course, because it's the price of right, what do we have behind door number 3? A new car! Ding, 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 ding. This is where you're supposed to jump up and down and be really frantic and excited. Of course, this is a new pedal car, and this one is a Murray pedal car, and this is a holdover design from the 1950s that they were still making into the early 1960s. So what do you think this would have sold for in 1964? And what do you think this would have sold for on eBay last week? I am curious to see your answer to this. I love this pedal car. I wanted a pedal car so badly when I was a kid that our neighbor had one that was the fire engine, and our neighbor, well, that kid was 12 years old. He couldn't even fit it anymore. And it was sitting there, and I decided he didn't need it. So I made my first and only car theft of my life, and I rolled it home and drove it home and was very happy with it. And my parents saw me in it and promptly made me take it back and apologize. So that was my brush with having a pedal car as a child. I've had a few of them since. So let's see what you think this was worth on The Price is Right in 1964 and what it would be worth 60 years later. Yes, I was really a good child, but I wanted to drive so badly, I couldn't even stand it. I actually bought a 1960 Cadillac with the giant fins when I was 12 years old for $80 during the gas crisis when no one wanted them from a teenage neighbor who wanted to get rid of it because he was moving, and my parents made me give that back and made him give me my money back. Carol Merrill is behind door number 3. That's right. Yes. Yeah, it's funny. When I started doing YouTube, Zeno could not get me to figure out how to present things. So he actually made me watch Carol Merrill and Janice and The Price is Right women and how they held things up so that I would learn how to do it. Okay. You sold your sister's Barbies for $1. That's great. And yes, I still love to drive. It's true. I haven't gotten over it. Okay. Here we go. The actual retail price of the pedal car, $20. Can you believe that these were only $20 new? And what do we think that they go for now? Well, we're going to show you what one sold for just recently. And that is, this one's not even in great shape. This is the Murray Super Sport pedal car, $600. And it's not even in perfect condition. We see a lot of them that are over restored and they sell for less. It's really better if they have their original paint, but wow, isn't that crazy? $600 in 1964 would have bought you a good used car, and $600 that is, and $600 today, well, it buys you a Murray Super Sport. So put in the chat if you did really well or didn't do really well. I'm curious because I couldn't follow with all of that. And yes, you're right, Flojo, $20 was a lot of money back then. Um, $20 was probably, oh, you know, if you were doing part-time work in a stenographer's pool, for example, like my mother did, I think she got $35 a week back in 1964 for that. So half and half, yes. Those are like buying Bitcoin in 2010. Exactly. We all should have been so lucky. Not good, but you were an 80s baby. Yes, you're forgiven for not knowing the prices in 1964. But it's funny when I look at the prices in the 1980s, wow, that was a long time ago too. A new car on the Price is Right might have been $10,000 in 1984. And well, now they're 30 and 40,000. So um, not a good estimator. It's hard, I think. You scored zero. Yes, I think zero is a proper score. I would not have done well on The Price is Right. I always figured that pretty good on original and pretty bad on now. Yeah, I figure that you have to really you'd have to be active in the market today to know these things. But I thought it was fun to do this because it does point out how our memory of how cheap things are, well, they weren't all as cheap as we thought they were. Another one in here was a television set that was $140 for a portable TV in black and white about this big, and now you could get a big flat screen TV for a couple $100. So it's all relative. $40 a day before taxes. Did okay, way off on others. Just close on most. I think that sounds good. Your dad made 100 a week back then. That was decent salary back then. Sarah just had a monumental birthday that ends in zero. Oh, happy 30th birthday, Sarah. I'm glad you had fun. I knew the pedal car because I knew what the limit was for my mother to spend on toys. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, that was above my mother's limit. I'll tell you that. My parents' first mortgage was 100 a month. Yeah, my parents, when I was a kid, they paid $121.50. And I remember my mother would say it out loud every time she wrote the check. And that was just so much money. So price on the game now. Well, actually, I hadn't thought about selling the game, but I'll tell you what, if someone would like the game, there are other cards in it, and I you can have fun and amaze um, all of your fans, all of your friends. It's got all the money, it's got the cards. I hadn't really planned on selling it, but why not? Because we had our fun with it. So if someone else would have fun too, we'll make this the first lot in the sale. All of the lots tonight are $10 start, and it's going to be choice except for this one with the game because we're just going to put this up for fun right now. And you just put the amount in the comments that you're willing to pay, and we'll just go back and forth until people are either out or they're just done. Aw, hello there. It is wonderful to see you. And I was just mentioning that we're going to have teak stock on Mother's Day weekend for the Midwestern folks, and that everybody on the Eastern Seaboard should come see you at Carlisle at your show. And both shows are looking for people to sell. So please, if you're interested in reselling, this is a chance to get in on the ground floor and do something really fun. Okay, so real quick. Oh, yes, she can't because of the 2-hour rule. Sorry about that. Well, it's great to, sorry we can't have you in the chat, but thank you for becoming a member, and we will look forward to chatting with you again the next time we do something like this, and I'll chat with you in a few days. Okay, so we'll start with this. If anyone is interested in the Price is Right game, since someone asked a price, we can start this at $10 and let us know in the comments if you are interested in the Price is Right. And if anyone is, we will go ahead and bid this, and otherwise we'll go on to the rest of our sale. And I'm going to try to see all the messages. I see Lisa here at $10, and hopefully I'm not missing anything else, but let me know. And we'll again come back at the end of the sales and ask if there's any more questions so that everybody has a chance. So $10 with Lisa. If anyone else is interested in the Price is Right game, let us know. And Otherwise, we'll send this off to Lisa and get on with the other items that we are here to sell. It is in really good condition. There's a few little tears on the back where somebody, I guess, taped it at one time, but it looks like they took pretty good care of it otherwise. One little rip on that side, but this is it. So Lisa's in at 10. If anyone else is interested, let us know. Otherwise, we'll sell this to her and move on to other things. I'm going to add this into my list. And yeah, sorry about the 2-hour rule, Jocelyn. We'd love to have you chatting with us now. We do that because that way I don't get any trolls with the bidding. Unfortunately, we had to do that to prevent anyone from coming in and putting bad messages into the chat. $10 for the Price is Right. Any bidders? Yes, we have Lisa at $10, and I'm going to sell it to her unless anyone jumps in now. So let us know. And yes, I think we're going to send that off to Lisa Ross. So we will go ahead and put in sold. And there we go. So Lisa, that will be coming to you. The rest of our lots tonight are going to be choice. We are going to do choice of items, and I'll hold them up and try to talk about them a little bit while you bid. Again, we have 10 lots of choice between 2 items. Everything starts at $10, so you can jump in with the bidding right away if you see something you like. And here is the first round. The first round is between a pair of children's books, so both for 1 money for 10 starting bid, or the Little Bisque doll. And I'll start by talking about her because she's pretty cute. This one is a Little Bisque doll in a very cute coat. She's dressed for the weather we are having today. She's got her little band around the head. This is going to date to sometime around the 1910s. And bear with me here. Okay, sorry about that. Jocelyn sent me a message because she can't chat directly. And yes, I will get with you, Jocelyn, I promise. Okay, so here we go. This is hand painted. It's got a couple of layers of clothing. I thought she was really cute. They show the buttons on the bottom because that shows, and the skirt. And this is bisque porcelain, made sometime in the teens or 20s. Or the other option is between the Bobbsey twins and the Hardy Boys, and this is both books for 1 money. So both of these, the Bobbsey twins is a rather old edition. This one originally belonged to Janice Carroll Cooper, and I have a feeling her mother wrote that in there because it's awfully good penmanship. And this is the Bobbsey twins in the Land of Cotton, and this one dates to around 1930. And we have $10 opening bid with Ruth. Thank you. So it's that book plus this book, which is the Hardy Boys, the Yellow Feather Mystery. This one is going to be a series from the 1960s. So it's those 2 books, or we'll show the doll one more time. And there is the doll. So choice between the 2 books or the doll. And we have a $10 bid. We're going to move through these fairly fast. So if anyone else is in, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and sell this and move on to our next item. We have a number of fun things to show tonight. Land of Cotton, 1930s. Yes, that's right. Thank you very much, Pete. That definitely helps. And let's see there. Okay. I think we're going to go ahead and mark this sold and let Ruth have her choice. And then we'll move on to some other sales here. So Ruth, let us know if you are interested in the doll or the 2 books at $10. And while you do that, I am going to take this shirt off because as nice as it is, I dress kind of warmly for tonight. And Ruth, just let us know in the chat which is for you, and we will go from there. Yes, the shirt is kind of like lowrider jeans. The skirt is like lowrider jeans. Yes, that's funny and true. And she has little bloomers on underneath. Okay, she'll take both. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'll make a note of this. And okay, thank you very much. I got both, and we will move on to the next thing. And let me quickly. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Our next round, we have a pair of silhouettes, and we have one larger and one smaller. They both came from the same estate. Again, $10 opening bid. These are reverse painted on glass from the 1930s or 40s. Let me hold them this way so you can see the scenes better. One of them is a approximately 5-inch. One of them is a 7-inch. And the 7-inch has a scene that looks like, well, a lot of places in the United States and Canada look right now. He's pulling her on a sled. I think that's really fun. Deb is our opening bid at 10. Thank you for that. And then this one, the frame is a little bit aged, but this one's very sweet because they are quarters and they are walking their dog. And we've got two at $10 bid, but Deb is the first in at 10. And so if in the event of a tie, when we close out the sale, then the first bidder is the one who gets the piece. Goodson in now at $11 for choice. These came out of the same estate and they were hung on the same wall together. And that's why, even though they're different sizes, I decided to put them together. And yes, I see someone says they love the dog. Yes, Critter Girl and her critters. And yeah, that kind of looks like the dog that hangs out at the Vintage Mercantile in Spokane, the auction and retail store. So we've got Goodson at $11 currently. And Deb, let us know if you're still in or if anyone else is in. Let us know in the chat. And I don't know what else there is to tell you about these. This one does have the hanger. And now we have another bidder in. Marty, thank you. $12 per choice. This one also has its hanger, so they are ready to go. It's nice when they're complete like this. I always look at, like I say, this one, the frame has a little bit of aging here. You see it's not completely shiny, but there's no stains and there's no chips and cracks or scratches. And I look for those things as hallmarks of condition on these. These were so popular in the 1940s. Am I going to have a Valentine's Day live sale? No, actually, I'm going to be with Heidi of Rosie's Auction House the next day on the 15th, and we're going to do a bid call sale, which will be live on February 15th. February 14th, I'll be doing an appraisal fair at Dusty Rose Antiques in Titusville, Florida. Okay, Deb's Finds at 14. Thank you for that. I missed that. Sorry about that. Got to pay more attention. $14 choice now with Deb's. Everybody else, let us know. If you're in, make another bid. If you're out, let us know you're out, and that way we can move along and show you more stuff. Oh, someone has a VW Bug battery operated car. I love those. You meant before them for Valentine's Day. No, I'm not going to be able to do any other sales because I am going to be really busy with my shows in Florida. I'll do another live like this next month after that. I just did a show with Kat last week, so it might be a little bit time before I do another one. It was a lot of fun. I was on with sunny Las Vegas, and we had a good time. Okay, we're at $14 with Deb's. Everyone else, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up and sell. It's going to be choice. So if anyone else is in, let us know now, or we will wrap this one up and go on. So we are going once. We are going twice. And we're going to go ahead and sell this. And we are sold to Deb's Finds at $14 choice. Deb, let us know in the chat which is of interest to you. If you want both, they're yours. If you just want one, we'll make the other one available to the backup bidder, who I believe is Marty. And I'll give you just a second to let us know. You can say large, small, or both. And I'm going to go ahead and set these down. in the meantime. Okay, Debs will take both. Thank you very much. I will make a note 28 both for you. All right, now I mentioned before that I had some pieces that were things that I saw when I was a child at the um, S&H green stamps, and I wanted my mother to get these, and she never did, so I guess I had to grow up and do it for myself. And again, we're starting at $10 each for choice. These are Fenton hobnail milk glass, and the S&H store outside of San Diego, California, had a whole shelf of this mixed with Westmoreland and Indiana glass King's Crown with the ruby staining. And it looked so great together. It was right about this time of year for Valentine's Day in about 1970 or 71. And that's when these pieces herald from. Again, $10 choice on these. The first one is the ruffled hobnail bowl, and it is approximately 10 inches wide. We've got Critter Girl at 15 for choice to start. Thank you very much. And this one does have the Fenton logo. They started putting the logo, especially on these pieces, in the mid 1960s. It wasn't until the 70s that it was on all the pieces. And then this piece, which has a curved bottom, does not have the logo at all. This is the big, I call it a banana bowl. It's great for fruit. It's a really cool centerpiece and just a really interesting thing. And this actually measures about 13.5 inches across by about 8 inches tall. So it is a nice, big, substantial piece. And yes, well, thank you, Joyce. I thought these were really pretty too. And I thought it would be nice to do something that was really uh, big and lovely that could be a centerpiece for Valentine's Day. And like I said, I have an attachment to them in terms of my childhood memories of these. Yarn holder. Yep, that's a great idea. And there we go. Yes, this is it. Choice. And now we have Miss Iris at $16. Hello there. And thank you for joining the chat with us on the premiere, Miss Iris. It was great to have you, and we hope we'll see you in the chat again. And all of you are always welcome to chat with us every Monday and Wednesday when we are having premieres of new videos, which we intend to do through the year. So we're at $15 per choice. Critter Girl, let us know, or anybody else who is interested in these. It's just such, so when I think of milk glass, honestly, I think of Fenton and I think of Westmoreland because their colors were really, really, I mean, okay, white is not technically a color, but they're not weak. They're really well done. Anchor Hawking's milk glass looks sort of weak and pale and gray, and this is very, very true white. Now $20 choice with Critter Girl. And I will be shipping from Kentucky, so I'm kind of in the middle, and that's better than if I'm in one corner of the country or the other for most people. Miss Iris now, $22 each. A bunch of violets in either will look superb. I like that idea. Violets, of course, Fenton started, some of the first painting they did was on the milk glass, and violets in the snow was one of the first things they painted because they agreed with you that violet colors look really good with this. The great thing, whole milk white. Yes, exactly. That is what it looks like. Yes, some glass looks like skim milk, and this looks like whole milk, and that is the difference. So we're at $22 for choice. Critter Girl, let us know, or if anyone else is out there, thank you, Scott, for letting us know. I did see your bid, but we ran past it. So it's Miss Iris and Critter Girl is out. So Miss Iris, we're going to sell these to you for choice. You may have one or both. And I've got tons of good packing material to make sure to get them to you safely. So let us know in the chat which piece, or if you want both pieces, you may have both. And if not, then we'll let Critter Girl have the option on the one that remains. Let me just set this down safely. We will be selling a lot of Fenton pieces. Okay, there we go. That's safe. We will be selling a lot of Fenton pieces in the bid call sale with Rosie's Auction House on the 15th as well. So Miss Iris, just let us know which pieces are of interest to you, and we will make them yours. Also, because you're new to us, let me see if I can put a the banana bowl. Okay, very good. Yes, that's a nice piece. So $22. Critter Girl, let us know if you are interested in the other bowl, and that can be yours if you would like it. And Miss Iris, please send me an email to the antiquenomad@gmail.com with your shipping address and billing information, and that way I can get an invoice to you and get this right out. Your mom had the banana dish. Yeah, it really is a lovely piece. Okay, and you're going to pass on the second one. Well, very good. Thank you. And hello there. How the new USPS shipping costs are affecting online sales. I have to say that for me, honestly, I haven't seen a big noticeable difference yet because the shipping costs, it's kind of a marginal thing and it really depends on the type of mail you're sending. So we'll see. I do think that in general, people are starting to favor selling more expensive and more collectible things. And that's partly because all of you folks, oh, thank you for doing that too. All of you folks have become more sophisticated in what you want is better as well. So I think that's one thing I do see with online selling. And as you're selling better items, the shipping becomes less of a portion of the total and becomes a little less relevant. So that's my guess as to what will happen, but we'll see. It may affect some of the people on Whatnot who are selling a whole bunch of stuff for really cheap because that may not be viable for them in the future. So we'll see how that is. The next round, I'm going to put up two identical, and yes, UPS is usually cheaper. That is true. I'm going to put up two pieces that are identical except for the color in Wedgwood Jasperware. And I really like Wedgwood Jasperware. I always have. It's good quality. We're seeing interest in neoclassicism again. And we are also seeing that, and again, $10 is the opening bid. So if you're interested in either of these, please put it in the chat. We're also seeing that Replacements Limited came to the West Palm Beach Antique Show 2 years ago and was snapping up pieces of Wedgwood like this. And I don't know if it's because they had a particular customer or if they just see a trend towards this, but I am noticing that these pieces are selling again. And I know that Carol Sue is a big Wedgwood fan because she used to live in England and appreciates this. Just as an aside, yes, Karen, unfortunately, there are horror stories no matter what. So just make sure you pack things really, really well with 2 inches of space around the object, well padded, and make sure that you have insurance if it's over an amount that's automatically insured. And that's the best way you can deal with it. The black is more unusual, and it is a great looking contrast. And we have Deb at $10 to start us out. Thank you very much. Yes, now this is not basalt. Wedgwood basalt was in the 19th century, and it's a very shiny surface compared to the black they did in the 20th century, which is more of a matte. But that is beautiful, and it is high contrast. And Carol Sue has the blue one. Yes, yes. These are great little bed vases. They're about 4.5 or 5 inches tall. And well, good night, Joan. It was fun to have you here too. On the black one, is there some paint? No, I think it's because of the shine of my lights. I'll turn it so that you can see there's no paint or anything on it. It just reflects funny because that glaze just picks up light in a way that makes it look like there's something on this edge here, but there really isn't. As I turn it, you'll see. Your brother is a UPS management employee and won't ship boxes with them. Yeah, we all know what we know a little bit too much. Let's see. There is a little bit. I think I see what you mean now. Yes, okay. No, I think there was a little bit of adhesive on this one, which I've removed, so there is no paint on this. So we're at $10 for choice with Debs. If anyone else, let us know. Controversy about a seller in Canada having a watch stolen. Yeah, that's not good news, but you know, there could be more than one story behind that. It's down at the bottom of one of the myth figures. Yes, I think I got it off. I think that was just adhesive. So no, they are clean and should be in perfect condition. $10 choice with Debs. If anyone else is interested, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. Okay, Ruth is in at 12. So Deb, let us know, or anyone else who's interested. And this will be for choice. The blue Jasperware is very, very pretty as well. A nice soft color. We are seeing interest in pastels growing this year. Lorraine now, $13 for choice. Deb at 14. And I am not well versed in Greek mythology, but I think I see Pegasus there on one panel. I don't know what this, when in doubt, I always say Athena. And then we have the chariot driver there, now 15 with Lorraine for choice. And these are the same mold. The Jasperware is, of course, a porcelain slip applied to the surface of the porcelain base. And that's why you have this three-dimensional aspect. And it is something that's fused together, so unless you knock it on something, it will not chip away. I love the blue, but the feel of matte bothers me. Yeah, some people prefer gloss glazes. I kind of like the tactile feeling of matte, but it has sort of a sandy feeling, and not everybody loves that. If you find one that's dirty, use a toothbrush and toothpaste to clean it, believe it or not. And yes, these are currently well priced. $16 is $16 for choice is the current high bid. So everybody else, let us know. And yes, sticker residue is the bane of my life too. I mean, Goo Gone works great, and you think you get it all off, and then as soon as you're holding it up in front of studio lights, then everything jumps out at you. I can't even work with matte beads. I think they would be hard to hold. Okay, Lorraine is out, so we're going to go ahead and sell this for choice. And if Deb doesn't take both, then Lorraine, you will have the backup bid, I believe. And so, Deb, at $16 per choice, you are the high bidder. Let us know which is of interest to you, and if you don't take both, then we'll give Lorraine the option on the other piece. You'll take the black. Okay, very good choice. And Lorraine, if you are interested in the blue, let us know. I'll make a note of this. All right, and of course we do combine shipping. So if you, I know Deb's won a couple of things tonight, and as much as is safe to do, we will combine the shipping on things, and Lorraine will take the blue. Very good. It's always happy when everybody gets what they want. All right. Next up, we have a choice of Granada or Florentine gold pieces. And I will show both of them to you. These are Italian, very popular. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's change because of our reflection. There we go. Granada Gold or Florentine Gold, two different companies that made the same style of work around late 60s, early 70s, very popular in Hollywood, Regency decorating. Italian imports were inexpensive because the Italian economy was in trouble and the value of the lira was very low in the early 70s. So we got lots of wonderful pieces of this. They made everything from pictures to dresser boxes to purses to small furniture with this treatment. And it is just really fun and fancy. I'll hold the picture up so that you can see it. And again, $10 opening bid on any of these items for choice. So this one, we have a fun festival with someone playing, looks like some sort of guitar. And I think that is he holding a tambourine or a fan? I can't really tell up there. The back of this one is printed with the made in Italy and some sort of a stock number. And it does have a little hanger. And then this one, I think is very sweet. This one we know is Florentine, and it's a very nice cameo. This is about a 3-inch square box. When you open it up, they always would paint the liners. And this one has the Florentia sticker on the back, a decorative craft handmade in Italy. And indeed, the gilding and all of the paint was laid by hand. This was not something done by machines. So $10 per choice. If anyone is interested, let us know in the chat. And we will make these available. Let me turn them around. If I hold things certain ways, then the glare comes off. Lisa Ross at $10 per choice is our opening bid. Thank you, Lisa. I tried to bring sort of a fun and different variety tonight, and I didn't do a lot of publicizing, so it's kind of potpourri as we go along. Marty at 11 for choice now is high bidder. Nice to have you with us again, Marty. I saw a lot of Florentine pieces in the local gift shop in the early 70s. I like the Spanish revival stuff. Yes, that's my family. We lived near the California-Mexico border. In fact, Betty R. and I joke about how we both grew up being able to see the bullfighting ring in Tijuana from our houses. We were just on opposite sides of the border. And so Spanish revival was the big thing there. It wasn't until I moved to other parts of the country that I saw people who decorated with the Florentine gold. 12 for Lisa, now 13 for choice for Marty. I always find little dresser boxes very useful. 14 now for Lisa Ross. I'm working on getting all of my costume jewelry organized for the shows, and wow, that is going to be a job. I'll film it all and show all of you folks eventually here. $14 bid with Lisa for choice on these items. Marty, let us know. And anyone else out there, if you're interested, let us know as well. And I'm glad you love the auctions. I really enjoy doing this and bringing a few items. I know I do a lot of real world stuff, but I really like to do things that involve all of you folks out here as well. Okay, Marty is out. So Lisa, you are the high bidder and winner on this at $14 per choice. Let us know which one you are interested in. If you want both, they're yours. If you just want one, we'll let Marty have the option on the other piece. And you would like the cameo box. Okay, very good. Marty, let us know in the comments if you are interested in the picture. It is available to you at the same price. I'll make a note of the box for Lisa. I'm going to go ahead and set that down. You have friends in Florida who will be coming to see me at one of the Florida shows. Well, that's wonderful. I'm so excited to get to do this again, and it'll be really fun to see people in person. You had wanted the box. Okay, very good. Well, we will move on then. Our next round, two pottery pieces. Again, $10 opening bid. And these are substantial. And they are two of the better American pottery makers, substantial enough that it's a lot to hold in one place. And no, this is not a bowling ball. This piece is Hager. This is 1980s Hager, and it is a ball base. And again, $10 each opening bid on these. There is the Hager label. Yes, it looks like a face the way I'm holding it, doesn't it? Yes, this is the number 4306. This was done in the 1980s. Ball bases were very popular then, and we're finding a lot of interest in 1980s design and also Art Deco design. And this is originally an Art Deco shape. And then this one is Van Briggle with the, I believe those are acanthus leaves on the side. And this is a nice low bowl and originally sat on a shelf in a collection with a bunch of McCoy pieces. This was the only Van Briggle piece they had. And there is the signature. And oh, Jody, nice to see you. I didn't think we were going to get to see you tonight. So Jody is our opening bidder at $10 for choice on these. And yes, Van Briggle, this is a nice piece. It's got the Anna Van Briggle logo here. JJ would have been whoever the person working in the factory was who was associated with this particular piece. We got Willie Tulsa time at 11, Willie Joe now at 12. I believe that this is probably a mid 20th century, possibly 1970s era Van Briggle piece. because of the way it's finished on the bottom. Van Briggle went out of business right before the end of the 20th century. Hager went out of business shortly after the beginning of the 21st century. And so we have Ruth and now Willie Joe at $17 per choice. Both fun choices, both very different from one another, of course. And the sizes are pretty substantial on these. We've got Jody is first in at $18 per choice. The Van Briggle piece is approximately from corner to corner, it's about 8.5 inches and about 4.5 inches tall. And the Hager piece, which it's so funny there we go. Without the ring light, it doesn't look like a bowling ball anymore. The Hager piece is about 9 inches in all dimensions. Okay, Ruth is out. Willie Joe is our current high bidder at $20 per choice. Jodine at $21.50. Okay, that's the first time we've had a fraction, and we'll take it. $21.50 is the high bid on choice on these two items. So Willie Joe, let us know. Tulsa time, if you're still interested, let us know as well. $21.50 for choice is the current high bid. I always like the softness of the Van Briggle glazes, and I like the contrast between the white and black. Again, a very 1980s look that I'm starting to see some people doing. Not everyone is a maximalist. Some people who are collecting are still into minimalism, and some people who like 1980s like minimalism. And so black and white have that nice stark aspect where you could put any other color with it. Okay, we had Critter Girl at 23 for choice. Now Willie Joe at 24 for choice. Jody is out. Critter Girl, let us know. Okay, she's out. So Willie Joe, $24 for choice, and these are for you. One or both, your choice. Let us know which one, and then we will go on from there. And I will make a note of it there. Okay, everything else is mostly, well, a lot of it is smaller. Okay, the Van Briggle is for you. Very good. And let's see. So Critter Girl or Jody, Critter Girl has first option. She passes. Jody, if you were interested in the Hager piece, let me know. And that one can be yours. All right. I think we'll do, it's funny because I know that a lot of you folks are glass people, and I didn't bring a lot of glass tonight, but we're going to do a glass round now. And this is kind of a neat round of glass, I think. And that is because it is, again, choice. And we have the choice between, okay, thank you, Cody. This is going to be two mid-century. Yes, that was a nice piece of Van Briggle. I think you got that for a good price. Okay, this is going to be choice. And the choice is between two different types of mid-century glass. These two as a lot, or this one by itself. And I'll tell you a little bit about these pieces. They're really fun. They're obviously decorated, and they're very mid-century. These two are Stricker or Striker. I have not been to the factory, and I've heard both pronunciations. If somebody who's from New England and has been there knows, please tell me which one is the correct pronunciation. But Stricker has been around since the 1960s. I believe they're still in production. They make fused glass. These are pieces that date to about the 1980s. Irises, lilies, and such were very popular motifs in the 1980s. And then there's this very happy yellow plate as well with the white design. So these two are one price together, $10 opening bid. Or the other choice is this. This is Dorothy Thorpe. A lot of you folks know Silver Fade. Dorothy Thorpe was famous for doing silver rimmed glasses, although a lot of Silver Fade is attributed to her that is not actually hers. And yes, it is true. The creek next to the old Van Briggle factory is full of shards. And some people have been exploring them to find some of the stuff to chronicle their early glazes. This is the Dorothy Thorpe, and I like showing this because a lot of people see this without the label and don't know it's hers, because usually this DT that you see in the middle would have been etched into the piece, but this piece has texture, and she did a lot of these shaped trays that had texture, and so of course there was no place to do an etch. And then it has a sort of a gilded screen print, and I always thought that these were neat pieces. So $10 for choice. Scott is our first bidder at $10. I decided to leave the label on this one, even though it's coming loose a little bit. I suppose if it were mine, I would soak it off and then apply it to the back so that you still have the label, unless you're just putting something like resin grapes or actual fruit in the middle of it, in which case you could just leave it the way it is. And yes, I do believe you're right. I believe those are spider mums. Hello, Susie Allen. Nice to see you here. So Scott at $10 for choice, and the choice is between the Dorothy Thorpe piece or the two Sidon Striker. And yes, the Dorothy Thorpe is very Hollywood Regency. She had a lot of people in the Hollywood set and in California who were big adherents of hers, and her brand went for a few decades longer than most because her designs were just really good. Women actually, in what was a man's world, women really made headway in design in the mid 20th century and really started getting credit for it in a way that maybe they hadn't in the past. So it is choice between these. Scott's in at 10. If anyone else is interested, let us know in the comments. We've got a few more rounds to do after this, including a couple of good collector's reference books and, well, you'll see, a couple of other fun things. So Scott is at $10. If anyone else is interested, let us know. Otherwise, we will let Scott have his choices and move on to other things. I just had to put these in because I needed to see spring flowers on a cold, chilly winter's day like this. So I'll hold them up one more time. And if anyone else is in, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to sell these to Scott and move on to a couple of other lots in the next round here. Okay. So Scott, let us know which piece or pieces are for you. And you may have all of them or you may choose, of course. And I will make a note here. And again, if you haven't bought from me before, please do send an email to theantiquenomad@gmail.com, and that way I'll be able to send you an invoice. And you'll take the Dorothy Thorpe. That's great. I love that piece, and I think that those are real sleepers, and you will find them without the label. Occasionally, you'll see them really cheaply because people don't realize that they're 60 years old and by a good designer because they're not signed. Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to have one round. We talk about antiques and vintage. I wanted to have one round that was true antique. And it's interesting because I showed one of these in the video tonight, and someone said, "Oh, I really like those." And lo and behold, we have one for sale. And that is this. This is a condensed milk holder. And this is choice between that or this 1920s Czech glass bud vase. So both very cute pieces that are true antique. True antique, of course, means 100 years or older. So $10 each for choice. If you're interested, you can go ahead and put the bid in the chat, and I'll show and talk a little bit about these while we do it. The Czech bud vase is a very pretty mint green piece of glass. Mint green was a very popular color in the 1920s and 30s, and I really like this very Art Deco design at the bottom. It's sort of a stylized flower and leaf pattern in the black. It just gives it some tracery that I think is really cute. And this one is going to measure about 8 inches tall. And they even gave it just a little kiss of a flower up at the top of the rim. Now, this one, I know it's Czech glass because I've handled a lot of this in the past. They did not mark every piece. When they did mark it, it's sometimes with a very faint signature made in Czechoslovakia that's hard to see. But when you see this little bit of indentation here, That is generally a foot you will see on a check glass piece. I think you can see it the way I'm holding the camera right now. Okay, we've got Lisa at 20 for choice, Connie Jean at 22. And here's the other piece. This is a condensed milk holder. And what in the world is that? Well, it's a very interesting piece. You could use it for solid pieces of candy or little sweetmeats or things like that, or to hold bags of tea or something. But originally what it was for is so that the condensed milk can, you would leave the milk in the can and then you would put the can in here. And that way you could push the can up through the hole, but you didn't have to look at an ugly can on the table. Instead, you have this very pretty liner and you have the base. This particular one is Saxa, which is a German company, but it was imported by an outfit in Providence, New Jersey. So it has their mark on it as well. And then here is the lid. So it's a three-piece set, and this is carrying over. Condensed milk is a pretty new idea in the late 1800s and early 1900s. And now we have something pretty to keep it in so that we're not looking at a can on the counter. We're looking at a very pretty piece of porcelain. So two very different items. A lot of fun. We've got $22 with Connie Jean. Lisa, let us know if you're still in. Jody, let us know if you're still in. This is for choice. And they're rather different choices, but I thought having two antique things that are true antique would be a nice thing to do. So Lisa is out. Jody, if you're in, let us know. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and sell this. Did they use condensed milk like a condiment or a sweetener? Yes, they did. It wasn't just for baking. Nowadays, we consider it more the thing that you use for baking cookies and that sort of thing. But like Scott said, Critter Girl, the use of the condensed milk was as a sweetener, as well as something that you put on the table, as well as something that you would use as an ingredient. Okay, Jody is out. So Connie Jean, we're going to close this out and sell to you at $22 per choice. And let us know which is of interest to you. If you're interested in the condensed milk set, let us know. Or if you're interested in the pretty check glass bud vase, it will be your choice. And then we'll let the backup bidder have whichever piece you don't take if you don't take both. I use it in coffee if I'm out of creamer, exactly, and that's how it was used. It was used as a sweetener on the table as well as for, and Marty says she uses it in her coffee too. Yeah, it's kind of like some people use half and half. Well, the condensed milk is even sweeter. Okay, very good. Connie Jean would like the bud vase. So Lisa Ross, let us know if you're interested in the condensed milk, and if so, that will be for you. Connie Jean, I've got you down for the bud vase. Okay. Pumpkin pie, yes, that's one of the things you make with it. Pumpkin pie, there's a, I think Nanaimo bars use something like that. There's some other confections like that that are used with that. And Lisa would like the condensed milk. Well, that's wonderful. Very good. And good idea, because you've gotten a few things already, so adding one more for shipping will not actually cost very much. All right. Penultimate choice here. I wanted to put some reference books out because I think these are fun and useful, and we were talking about reference books earlier with the depression glass, and these are some subjects I know some of you folks like. And evaporated milk, that's right, for pumpkin pie. Okay, so this is choice for these two reference books, $10 opening bid. One is Costume Jewelry, The Great Pretenders, and the other is Fostoria Glassware. And it is a very complete compendium on Fostoria. I'm going to show the costume jewelry first. The Great Pretenders, this book is really focused on costume jewelry that was made to look like real jewelry, which I think is a really interesting subject because originally a lot of costume jewelry was done to emulate real jewelry. A lot of the people who wanted to wear costume jewelry, for example, were movie stars who didn't want to wear their good jewelry out. And so this is, we've got a bunch of bids here, starting with Deb. Tulsa Time, and now Lisa at $13 per choice. Magic cookie bars, yes, that's what I was thinking of. Now Willie Joe, $15 per choice. And this one, it goes through by link bracelets and other types of things. So it's a good compendium to learn a little bit about the different styles and some of the different makers. And a lot of these are not signed pieces, so it will help you with identification. It's not a price guide, and that's fine because this is enough out of date. It wouldn't be helpful as a price guide, but these are some really nice pieces of costume jewelry, and some of them are things that I have found. And so I've found it a useful book in the past. Let's see, we've had Debs, Willie Joe, Debs, and now Willie Joe at 19 for choice. The other choice is the Fostoria glassware book, and this covers their entire production from 1887 to 1982. 95 years of glassmaking. They were one of the biggest and most important elegant glassmakers in Ohio, and this covers stuff all the way from their early years, 1900s, teens, and 20s, things that are not necessarily marked. Fostoria mainly used paper labels, if any at all. It also goes through, one nice thing about some of these older glass books is they will show you the blank, which is the item without the etching or design, and then they have a whole list of which patterns the blank was used for, and then you can go through and actually see the different etches that they made, and that way if you find a piece you can tell by the shape who the maker was. Okay, Willie Joe says out to Deb's finds at $20 for choice. If anyone else is in, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and close this out. But I'm glad that there's interest in reference books again, because a lot of scholarship went into these in the 1980s and 90s during the last collecting boom. And now that people are really interested again in knowing more about their pieces, there is a lot of really good information in these. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Deb, let us know which one you want. If you want both, they are for you. If you want just one, let us know which, and then we'll make the other one available to the backup bidder, who is Willie Joe. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down. Carter Steuben website has a shape database. That is really useful because Steuben made a lot of really great, good quality pieces, and they're, again, sometimes the marks are obscure and hard to find. Deb will take both. Very good. Thank you. I will make sure you get those. And let me make a note of that. All right. Okay, we are down to our last round here, and it's just something for fun, but it is time for something from the 1970s, and this is choice. And one is the Stankel candle warmer, and the other one is a really fun mushroom caddy. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the difference, the different pieces on this. I'll take the candle out of the Stankel. Stankel made hand-painted floral designs in dinnerware for many, many years. This originally would have been made and sold either to be used by itself or to be used as a candle warmer under another plate or a casserole. And it has the Stankel label in oval. This is one of their wildflower patterns. All of the painting was done by hand. All the incising was done by hand. They really made good quality ware, and they were in business until 1979. But the reason I put this out is that a lot of people are interested in candles, and this is something that you could just use as a votive candle holder or for potpourri or that sort of thing. The other option is this, which I think is just a really cool little piece. This is a hand-painted mushroom caddy. It has the signature of the person who did the hand painting, and we'll find that. There we go. There's the signature, and I think this is just fun as it opens up, and it is actually a little place to hide whatever it is that you're hiding in these sorts of things. And I thought that was really neat. It is made of wood. It's turned wood, and I'm not sure what kind of wood. It actually is a little bit lighter. It's a wide grain It's not ash or poplar. That is a really good question. I should know the answer, but I don't know for sure. Would there have been a bowl that went on this? Yes, Stengel would have made various bowls, casseroles, or other dishes that would have sat on this lip in here. And so that would have been the purpose for that. And yes, it looks 80s, but they actually were ahead of their time. They started doing these in the 50s, and they actually went out of business the year before the 1980s started. Um, so that is that. And then the ceramic piece, yeah, the wood on this, that's a really good question. I wish I knew. It's got a bigger grain than poplar. I can think of everything it isn't. I really need to work on my woods. $10 for Marty is the opening bid for choice on these. And yeah, I just thought it would be fun, and there's something that will sort of brighten things up. A bunch of people at $10 now. $12 is the high bid. And now 13 with Willie Joe. Yeah, I like the big yellow flowers. Yellow seems like a color that's more popular now than it has been for a while too. So I thought it was a good time for this. Now $14 for choice. Willie Joe at 15 for choice. I like the little holes in the bottom there too, because it just lets, I guess it's just to let a little bit of air in, but I think it just gives it a neat look. I could see putting some sort of a warmer over this and using it to potpourri. Yeah, I love yellow too, and a lot of people are seeming to like it again. We have someone who's not here with us tonight, Miss Udalali, and she is a beekeeper, she and her family, and she loves the color yellow and dresses in it, and it's a very fun color. Yes, I like the Stengel tulip too. That's a great pattern. Naomi, $16 per choice. Ah, you have a Stengel platter with a similar floral pattern. Yes, they made a lot of different pieces, actually. Where's your Vanna since I can't be there? Yes, that's right. I need a third hand. Okay, and yes, thank you. Thumbs up really do help us. And I think we have a winner here. If anyone else is in, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to sell this to Naomi for choice. And we are sold. So let us know in the chat which one you want, and then we will look for, we will offer the backup bidder if one of them is left. I'm going to go ahead and set these down. And I noticed you said you're looking for yellow jewelry lately. Yes, yellow jewelry is not easy to find, actually. My mother had a pair of yellow earrings she just really prized and wore all the time and never could find a replacement for them. All right. I have you down for the mushroom and Willie Joe. If you need the Stengel piece, let us know. If there's any other, yes, I had a feeling too. If there's any other questions or comments or things you folks are wondering about while we're still here, please let me know. We're going to wrap up. We've been on for about an hour and a half, and I really appreciate you coming along and having fun with me this evening. And so let me know if there's anything else that I can tell you about now. Again, for you level 3 members, we will have our chat on Wednesday, and we've got some interesting things to talk about there. And yellow spray paint, yes. Spray paint on jewelry only looks good from a distance. I have a few pieces that people have done that to, believe it or not. And then we figure out how to take a toothbrush and a little paint thinner and take it off. So let's see here. It is really good to see you. It's always great to see all of you here. I just have so much fun doing this, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And happy birthday. And happy 30th birthday to you too. We're just going to go with 30 because it's the safe number, right? Thank you. Yes, we definitely all need a break. I was told by my doctor to stop watching the news when I had my diagnosis, and I have become very used to giving it only the very minor amount of attention it needs to help me through my life. because I do realize honestly that there is a lot of hype out there, not just the news, but social media. I have a lot of sites I love watching, but boy, one more thumbnail of the world is falling, and then it's like, oh, not really, haha. It really is turning into the boy who cried wolf. So don't take it too seriously. Let's just keep having fun together. Does anyone remember blue chip stamps? Yes, I do remember blue chip stamps were a competitor. I occasionally see signs for blue chip stamps. Um, I think they were also in California, if I'm not mistaken. I seem to remember, but I think I've seen blue chip stamps in other parts of the Sun Belt. Um, Let's see here. My wife was 29 for 15 years. Exactly. Each year is just a celebration of the anniversary. My 15th anniversary of turning 29. And thank you, Virginia. I'm glad you enjoy watching. It's always fun for me. It's interesting to see who likes what and what sort of things appeal to people. And I'm just always glad to bring some of that to you. Um, I have so many questions. It would be a long live stream. Well, you ask away, and also you can certainly email me. I know we've been chatting about various things. Thank you. I had a fun evening as well. And Miss Iris, it's really great to meet you too. I'm so glad that you are here, and we love having you as part of our group. It's really nice that the group is getting bigger and bigger, and so many wonderful people. And I'm just glad you had a really good time. I did too. And yes, it was in California. That's what I thought. So, okay. Well, thank you, Don. And thank you all if you have, and thank you also to the members. I'm going to run the credits here with a little thank you to our members on the live channel. Happy trails to all of you, and we'll see you again very soon.